wasn't for this front corner being pooched, it's got a little bit of problem here on the edge too, but I mean, it's old. You'd look like this too if you were born in 1890. Hello and welcome once again to M Cubed. I am Brian, the Motley Mix Merchant. Thank you very much for joining me today. If it's the first time you've seen this channel, I am a Canadian eBay reseller. I've been doing this for about 3 months now, mainly for fun, making a little bit of profit on the side, and doing these YouTube videos to chronicle the journey, and glad you could come along for the ride. So today, it's been a while since I did another video, about a week and a day, I think, since the last video. So I'm going to go over what's happened with sales in the last week, and what I picked up in my thrifting journeys. And now let's start with a little story of yesterday. Last night, I went to my first ever auction, specifically for the intent of picking up items to resell on the eBay store. I've been to auctions before, but not really for this kind of purpose, just for fun. This time it was actually a business thing, and I decided to go to an auction. And actually, a couple of friends of mine who I used to work with, one who I used to work with, one I still work with, but on a different shift. They have a auction house now in the nearby city, so it was easy to find them, and I had a great time. I don't know if any of you have ever done auctions, live auctions, but it was great. And it started off with box lots, and then got into some of the more major items. But the box lots is where I scored big time, and I haven't got all the items sorted or researched or priced or anything like that yet, because there's just too many. I spent the equivalent of about $100 Canadian total on the evening. That's about $80 US. But I've got product that's probably going to sell total for the neighborhood of $750 to $1,000 worth of product. So it's going to be fun. I'm probably going to be listing for about 4 hours a day for the next week or two to get everything out there that I received. And the box lots part was interesting. They started off with box lots, and I don't know if there was not a lot of resellers in the crowd. It was a good crowd, especially to start the box lots early in the evening, but not a lot of people buying things that looking to resell, especially on eBay and Etsy, because I got some great deals on boxes of items, vintage items, linens. I've cleaned up behind me, but the linens were on the floor over there in the boxes, and got some great linens. And then I got, at the end of the box lot auction, anything that hadn't sold yet, they put it all on the table, and they just started the bidding, and nobody bid, and the starting price went down, and nobody bid, and the starting price went down. I got the entire table for $1, and it took me 6 trips to my car to get the stuff off the table, and I only had about 15 minutes before they started the actual auction, so I had to move it. But yeah, I got the entire table's worth of box lots for $1 to finish off the box lots. And already, just in doing some quick research last night after I got home and today, there was a box of electrical components, electrical stuff. Looked like junk. I mean, there were wires hanging out of it and that kind of thing. It was just a flat box, and nobody wanted it. It was one of the things on the table. Well, I've looked through it. I found 3 or 4 brand new, never been installed electrical components, a couple of switches, and the total alone from that box should be in the $100 to $125 range, just for the items in this one little box that nobody wanted, that was $1, part of a bigger box lot at the end of the box lot sale. I did find something else too. Now, unfortunately, it's not in the greatest shape, and I'll get to my other finds in a minute, but I found this was in one of the boxes of books. I got another box of books included on the table. This is, I don't know how to say it properly, the Kreutzer Sonata by Tolstoy. And as you can see, it's got some damage here in the bottom, so I don't know if it's worth anything, if not 0, maybe $10 to somebody who really, really wants it, because this is, if you look inside, you can tell by the look of it, it's old. This is the original first translation, the first edition translation, translated by Benjamin R. Tucker, And this book was published in 1890. 1890, this book was published. It is the original first translation of the Kreutzer Sonata by Tolstoy. And if it wasn't for this front corner being pooched, it's got a little bit of problem here on the edge too, but I mean, it's old. You'd look like this too if you were born in 1890. So I couldn't believe it. I said to the girlfriend when I brought it home, and I looked it up, and I said, can you imagine if I open it up and it's autographed or something by Tolstoy? It didn't happen. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. I mean, that was just in a box that nobody wanted at the end of the box lot sale. But anyhow, had a great time at the auction. Picked up some amazing stuff. I'll show you some things as the next couple of weeks go by, as I unpack and get to. I mean, I got champagne flutes. I got a box of that was a open box of glassware, which I really had to be careful with. But there was 10 champagne flutes, and they turned out to be a hard to find crystal dark pattern that sell for about $25 to $30 US for 4, and there was 10 of them in the box. So it's just, I had a great time, probably a little over what I was expecting to spend for the night, but in the end, it's totally worth it, because now I'm not going to have to thrift for at least 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks. I'm definitely not going to have to go thrifting because I'm going to be so busy going through the stuff that I got at the auction last night, and that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you very much, Tracy and Rich, for that. That was fun. All right, so let's move on. Things that sold in the last week. It's been really quiet since the Sunday of the 4th of July weekend, but the Thursday through Saturday was super busy. I sold 5 items from Thursday through Saturday of the 4th of July weekend, and I'm only going to talk about a couple of them right now. First off is this white Crown Royal bag. It's got the beautiful silver tassels on it. This was another one of those free things for my stepmother, and again, I'm going to have to take another bottle of wine over to her now. But it was free to get, $12.99. It sold for US plus shipping. And I think it went to, I want to say Nevada. I can't remember exactly where I shipped it to. It's gone. It's gone somewhere in the States. But yeah, another freebie. One of those things around the house that nobody's going to use, so we put it up on the site and got something for it. Second thing that sold is the license plate. Remember, I had high hopes for this Disney Fort Wilderness license plate from the late 1980s, mid 1980s. The comps were, there was one comp that was really, really high, and the other comps were mid-range because they were used. But this one was brand new in the original factory seal plastic still. Nothing happened with it when I put it on auction. If you remember last video, I said I was going to put it on auction. Nothing happened with it. Didn't even get a lot of views, really. But then I put it on a buy now on eBay and took a best offer of $35 US. Now, don't forget, I paid the equivalent of 75 cents US for this license plate. So getting a $35 return on a 75-cent investment, I'll take that all day, every day, all year long. So I was pretty happy. I had free shipping on that. It was easy to ship. Put a lot of cardboard around it and put it into a padded envelope, and the way it went. So that is on its way. Actually, it should have arrived yesterday, I think. So that was a good purchase for them. And finally, there's a bit of a story to this one. I sold this Ed Sheeran Divide concert hat. It was a certified, authentic Ed Sheeran concert hat, bought at a concert, and listed it and sold it for $50.99 plus about $8 US in shipping. And the purchaser was a Canadian. And actually, the purchaser lives only about 50 to 55 minutes away from me, straight down the highway. It's like, with the speed limits around here right now, it's about a 45-minute drive. So I boxed it up, measured it, weighed it, went onto my Canada Post website to figure out what the shipping was going to be. It was going to cost me almost $15 to ship this hat 45 minutes down the road. So I messaged the seller, and I hope this doesn't get me in trouble with eBay if somebody's watching this from eBay, but I messaged the seller and said, can I just drop it off at the house? It's going to cost me just the amount you paid for shipping will cover my gas money to get to you and back home versus paying almost twice that much to ship it through Canada Post. So they got back to me and said yes, and we made the arrangements. They actually weren't home when I got there, which was fine. I hid it behind some cushions on a chair on the front porch, and then they messaged me. And then they messaged me that they got it. And it's one of those things that makes you realize that sometimes when you sell something, there's more to it than just somebody buying an item. There is a story to the purchases sometimes. The buyer I knew was getting this for her daughter because she had mentioned that in one of the earlier messages we had back and forth before I set up the delivery. But her daughter had just finished her most recently cancer treatment, and the daughter wanted a cool Ed Sheeran hat to wear on her head. I am not going to assume anything, but I would imagine if she's going through cancer treatment, she may have lost some of her hair. And her mother said that she had it on her head within 2 minutes of it coming into the house, and she was super, super happy. So, I mean, look, I'm getting emotional now just talking about it. So it was very cool to get that message from the buyer, and I appreciated it very much and let her know that. And I know the daughter is appreciating her Ed Sheeran concert hat, and she's a huge Ed Sheeran fan. She'll be sad to hear that he announced today he actually is married. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and that was a great story to go with the sale of the Ed Sheeran hat. So what have I picked up this week? Well, besides an entire dining area and laundry room full of boxes of stuff from the auction, I picked up a couple of other things that I want to show you, and one that I can't believe how it turned out. Anyhow, this one. This is a paperweight. It is called Chinese reverse painting. And what it is it's painted from the inside. You see the hole there on the bottom? They paint through the hole onto the hollowed out inside of the glass. And it's a gorgeous tiger scene with some Chinese lettering there. A little bit of a different scene on the back side. Pretty heavy, probably about 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. But yeah, I got that for about $4 Canadian, $3.25 US, and it's right now on the website on eBay for $17 plus shipping. Bumped the shipping a little bit because of the weight, but you know, it was cute. I mean, I looked at it, it was gorgeous. It's beautiful, beautiful painting. And you can see that the detail is amazing on this tiger scene. So I thought that was cool. I think if it doesn't sell, it might stay here on my desk. Same trip to the Goodwill. Picked up this. You may see this in the thumbnail. This is a brand new in the box, never removed from the box because she's still attached with the strings, the plastic string that they attach you to attach the dolls and stuff to the boxes. Brand new, never been touched Barbie. Now, it is the Canadian version. It is in English and French on the box, so you can tell it also says Mattel Canada. So you can tell that it's the one that was released in Canada, but it's still a Barbie. And it is brand new in the box. I got this for the equivalent of $4 US. And right now she is on the eBay site for $24.99 and getting lots of views already in the first 12 hours. So I think Barbie's going to go pretty quickly. There's a little bit of corner distress from storage for the box, but other than that, perfect brand new Barbie in the box. So that was a great find, and that was in a bin. We don't have an actual bin Goodwill here in my area, but there were a couple of bins on a trolley that one of the workers was probably supposed to be putting on the shelves and had walked away from the trolley, and I walked by and saw the pink. It stuck out in the gray bin and picked it up and had the price tag on it, so I took it, and we'll see how it goes with that one. Now the final item that I picked up, you may have seen if you follow me on Instagram, or I even posted it in the Facebook group that a lot of you are members of. I was at the Goodwill, and this thing was on the shelf. It was covered in dust. It was cobwebs and just in really, really rough shape. And I'm gonna put a picture up here. I think I should be able to post the picture right now of how dusty it was. And as you can see, it's an ice bucket and a serving tray, and it also came with 4 glasses. Now it's all wrapped in vinyl. The glasses are wrapped in vinyl. The ice bucket is vinyl with a green plastic top to match. Beautiful, beautiful gold details on the ice bucket and the top rim of the glasses with absolutely no chips or cracks. A couple of tiny little superficial scratches on the serving tray. This was gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And if I had a bar in my house, I would be keeping it. But I don't have a bar. So it's listed right now. I think I just put the price to $49.99 for the entire set. It's not, what's the name? Hang on, I'm going to go under here and look. It's called Craftware. I always keep thinking Faberware, but it's Craftware. Craftware was the maker, fairly famous for making bar sets like this and ice buckets and that kind of thing. So yeah, I got this I paid up for this a little bit. It was $12 Canadian, so about $10 US, just under $10 US. But if this returns anywhere from $40 to $50 US, I think it was well worth the investment. All it took was a damp cloth and a little bit of Dawn, and got a little bit of the grease off that was on the bottom, and gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't believe that find, and I wish I had a bar to keep it, but it's just going to be taking up space here, so it's on the eBay site. So that was some of my finds, and it's been a really interesting week. I had a lot of fun, made some good sales, picked up a few good items at the Goodwill, and then killed it at the auction last night. And I will keep you up to date on how things go with the selling and listing of auction items. I've got a few of the things up there on the eBay site already, which, by the way, you can find in the links below. So here's the question of the day. What was your best find at an auction? If you've ever been to an auction, comment below. What was your best find? And what did you end up selling it for? Or did you keep it? Anyhow, thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure you hit the like button. It really does help the channel and the video when the video gets likes. And if you would like to follow along on the entire journey here on the MCube channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell to be notified every time a new episode is uploaded. Thanks for dropping by. I'll see you again on the next episode of MCubed. Cheers.